everyone. Welcome to the Roto Grinders Morning Grind podcast. I'm your host, Stevie TPFL. It's September. It's the 19th of September. It's 2016. It's Monday, and it's not a full slate. Thank you, baseball, for giving us a 10-game slate instead of 15s. That 15-game Monday slate last week was just a little brutal, so I'm excited that we only have 10 games here today, and it's a really interesting slate. We have Bumgarner against Kershaw. We have a Coors Field game with two decent pitchers. And, well, we have the Cubs and the Reds. So, had to mention those. But the most interesting thing of all, Brandon Shipley against the Petco Padres. And we're going to talk about that here in a few minutes. But, Siege, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, man. We just eliminated the Yankees from the playoffs for all intents and purposes. So, the mood's a little higher than Thursday. I think we're going to be a little more excited about this slate. The slate's a lot more fun. No trolling going on, so this is gonna be a lot more fun, I think.
Yeah, we want a huge congratulations to our friend Al Smizzle. Took down $1 million, man. Like, that's tough to do. I don't care what anybody says. Like, you can have 150 teams, you can have one. It doesn't matter. To take down the million maker that's a tough task.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. And his team is basically like every guy he touted to. It was just like 1 through 10. Every guy he was just like, I love this guy. I love this guy. Pretty much simple. Told you how to do it.
I just love it because, people ask us all the time, why do you give out information? You kill your edge. And it's just what he did just shows.
Yeah, no edge killed. That's for sure.
And congratulations to you, my friend, taking down a tournament on the early slate on Sunday.
Oh, yeah, no, that was really nice. It was nice to get a first win of the year under the belt, especially because I had Woodhead on basically everything in the all-day slate. So I definitely, positive ROI for the week, and we'll move on to the next one.
All right, one last piece of housekeeping. All I'm going to say is everybody gave you crap about betting the under in the Saints-Giants game, and I think you I know you don't want to brush off your shoulders and, take a bow and stuff, but congratulations on absolutely destroying that call.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I was one of my better calls of the week for sure, and I think I even said that I like Sterling Shepard more than Odell Beckham, and that also worked out. It was a good week for the hot takes for sure. The hot takes had a very good success rate. My version of the chalk, Antonio Brown and AJ Green. All the colors let me down. If you had a color in your name, let me down.
Well, Antonio Green killed me, so I knew what you were trying to get at there. We can call him that, and yeah. Well, anyway, Fantasy Draft, if you guys haven't checked out our sponsor, make sure you head on over to Fantasy Draft. Bunch of stuff here on this nice little 10-game Monday slate. They have a $2,000 home run with a 3-entry max. I'm hoping they go back up with a bunch of big football contests again. I see that they already have another $100,000 run and gun up. I don't have a sweat, but I have a team sitting pretty good with Langford on Fantasy Draft, so I should be able to pull out a top 25 there.
I got to say, as a guy who loves the Monday Night Sweat, with FanDuel pulling that Monday Night Sweat, they kept it over here on Fantasy Draft. They're going to get a nice big deposit this week because I'm going to have to get my Falcons Saints exposure somewhere, and Fantasy Draft, the new front runner for that exposure.
Oh, did FanDuel pull the Monday game?
They pulled the Monday game.
Why?
Yeah, well.
Oh, I don't even want
our friends over at Fantasy Draft have hooked us up. That's all I gotta say.
I'm in a good mood. I'm not gonna get mad.
No, just play that nice 100K run and gun.
Yeah, NASCAR was great to me. So yes, play that $100,000 run and gun. If you haven't checked them out yet, make sure you use promo code Grinders. That way you get incentives here at Roto Grinders for free for a year for Fantasy Draft and 100% deposit bonus up to $600. That's all the housekeeping. We got some baseball to talk about, and hey, let's just jump right into talking about the Red Sox. Since everybody loves when we talk Red Sox baseball, this is an interesting game. We have Dylan Bundy, Rick Porcello. It's in Baltimore. There's a little bit of weather concerns, so that's something you're going to want to pay attention to. We don't want the pitchers here, even with Porcello pitching well this year, right?
No, absolutely not. This is definitely a spot where you definitely don't want to play Rick Porcello here.
Yeah, he pitched well against them in his last outing, but no, take that with a grain of salt. And we're both BVP people, and just take that with a grain of salt.
I actually have interest in the Red Sox bats against Dylan Bundy here. Ortiz got the day off here on Sunday night, which was, I thought, a pretty risky move when we were trying to put the nail in the coffin on the Yankees, but moving Hanley to DH worked quite well. So that's why John Farrell's a manager and I am not. But that makes the Red Sox stack here really interesting because he'll be back in the lineup.
Yeah, and if you want to be that contrarian move, play Hanley Ramirez over Ortiz because, like, I don't say this a lot about Hanley, but he's hot.
Oh, what is this? 4, 6, 8 home runs in those last 11 days? Yeah, he's super hot. And he's just crushing. Even the balls that aren't leaving the yard are just absolutely demolished.
Yeah, we waited for it. We're both Red Sox fans. We've been waiting for it all year, so it's nice to see it happen down the stretch. Looking at the Red Sox overall, Ortiz, really solid against righties. Benedetti, if he's in the lineup, he's really solid. Jackie Bradley Jr. has 22 home runs. Mookie Betts has 22 home runs against righties. Like, this lineup up and down, we're not saying stack the Red Sox just because we like the Red Sox. This is a good lineup.
Yeah, it's a really good spot against Bundy, who has shown his control problems. And you get extra runners on, you have to make more stressful pitches to this deep of a lineup, and you can see what happens. C. Sabathia had a labor. He had his good stuff early on, but the Red Sox just kept fouling off pitches. At 100 pitches in the fifth, and he makes a mistake to Hanley. Back in the game. So that's kind of what the Red Sox do to you. So I have no problems in anyone 1 through 9.
Porcello, the two guys that I like against him, Trumbo, Machado. Porcello is a ground ball pitcher. Both those guys fly ball hitters. Both those guys have massive ISOs against righties this season. Like, if I'm going to play some guys here, I think it's going to be Trumbo and Machado.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I was just trying to think. Do you have BVP up by any chance?
I do.
I was having this recollection that Chris Davis has good BVP, and it's okay. A lot of power in the BVP. I wouldn't mind him either.
Hey, Trumbo has BVP. Look at that. I didn't even have to look at it to know that Trumbo is a decent play against Porcello.
Yeah, it's always nice when the BVP matches your researches, doesn't it?
Oh, those are the best types of plays. Hey, look, the Red Sox have good numbers against Bundy. Just saying.
Yeah, I actually really kind of like this, kind of like a Red Sox stack with a Trumbo one-off on the other side. It kind of gets you some exposure at low ownership to a super powerful hitter. I like that a lot.
Any other bats that you like here for the Orioles? We touched on the Red Sox a lot.
JJ Hardy, if you're looking for a punch shortstop, he's been kind of mashing the ball a little bit lately, and he's got good BVP as well.
All right, Atlanta at New York, taking on the Mets. We have Aaron Blair coming off the DL. Hasn't been great, hasn't been awful. Hasn't given up more than 3 earned runs in a start this season, so we can say that. But he is coming off the DL, and he's facing Noah Syndergaard, and it's obvious that Syndergaard is the biggest favorite on the day today.
Yeah, absolutely, as you would expect, minus 275 with a small total. I think I'm going to fade Noah, though. I feel like a lot of this total is just not respect for Aaron Blair and not necessarily that Noah Syndergaard's going to go out there and dominate. I kind of see a 4-2 Mets win. And I just, we got a lot of lead options on the board today, and I just don't think Noah's going to win that battle.
Now, we talk about Free Monday Tuesday a lot during football season. We get a lot of money coming over from NFL. We've seen the cash lines last Tuesday. They were down. With DraftKings not having that Monday night game, do you think we're going to see a little bit of free money Monday?
It depends how many people want to play that 2-game slate. Last week, the Monday slate, the 2-game slate, or the 3-game slate sold out super early, and they were running extra stuff. So yes, I'm going to kind of my cash volume for baseball is going to kind of depend on how I see that thing selling. If that thing's selling well, probably won't play a whole lot. But if it's not selling and it looks like people are playing baseball, then I'll definitely hop in some more cash games.
What I'm kind of getting at is if you're going to play cash, Noah Syndergaard 11-6 on DraftKings. He's a guy that I would lock into my cash lineup.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, probably for the block, I guess. It's really tough to pass on Bumgarner and Kershaw, but I guess we'll get there eventually.
We will get there. Bats in this game, Cespedes is banged up right now. Left game because of dizziness and nausea. Like, I hope that's not a concussion. That's kind of what it sounds like, but no idea. We don't know. If he's in the lineup, if he's not, what are you looking at here for the Mets?
Really don't have a whole lot of interest in anything, to be honest. Like, Lucas Duda is priced through the nose. Can't really go there. It's it's kind of just a pass, to be honest. I can't pay these elite prices when I got Coors on the board, when I got Texas, and when I've got an interesting matchup in Seattle. I can't go there.
Craziest numbers ever: 28 home runs, 51 RBIs for Granderson.
Yeah, it's just pretty insane. As is the 20 home runs for his Drupal Cabrera on 49 RBIs.
Mets are the kings of solo shots. So I actually don't hate a one-off of Granderson, but you're really paying for him. So it would all depend on what the rest of your lineup looks like. I'm not picking any bats here against Syndergaard. I think that's pretty obvious.
You can always play Freeman.
You can, but I won't.
You could always play a Freeman contrarian one-off. He'll be 0.5% owned, and he's got 2 home run upside in any matchup.
I'm not disagreeing. It's just not something that I'm going to do here. Let's move on. Washington at Miami. AJ Cole, Wei-Yin Chen coming off the DL here. You have to tell me one good reason not to play Trey Turner today.
I have to? Like, you're gonna throw me off the podcast if I don't name one?
Like, his price is the only thing, right? Like, on FanDuel, he's $4,600.
I don't care. Is he 6K on DraftKings? No, he's not 6K. Then he's gonna get played.
We're in the same boat. Do you like AJ Cole here?
Kinda. I think it's gonna be pretty lineup dependent, but the price I think is super fair. I feel he's not a high strikeout guy, but in this 7K range on DraftKings, the 14K range on Draft, I don't need to get a guy who I think is going to have to get 7 or more strikeouts. I can deal with a guy who's going to get 5 or 6. So I do like him. They don't really seem to let him go more than 6, though, no matter what. But maybe a lot of that has just been the control. The walks have been up lately. So, yeah, I don't mind him. Marlins don't walk a ton last time I ever checked. So I certainly don't mind this. It should be a good spot for him.
The one thing
ballpark boost, too.
Yeah, ballpark boost. That's what I was going to talk about. Like, going into Miami, one of the better ballparks for pitchers in baseball, 6,000 on FanDuel. Like, if you're wanting to get Coors exposure and some of these other games that we're going to talk about, Red Sox, like, AJ Cole might be really interesting on FanDuel.
What's he on FanDuel?
6K.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Definitely I'm interested. 6K.
Yeah, and you got to think, like, he's going to get some run support here. You have to think Chen coming off the DL. Good matchup here for the Nationals.
As much as I love Tyler Anderson, AJ Cole should not be cheaper than Tyler Anderson, and he should not be in the same price range as Tim Adelman. That's for sure.
That is for sure. We mentioned Trey Turner. Any interest in Rendon, Worth, Ramos, any of these right-handed bats?
Yeah, I just don't really like to stack against Wei-Yin Chen that much. He really just doesn't get blown up. So it's actually a situation where I might use Trey Turner just as a one-off.
He does give up a lot of home runs to righties, though. Like, it's a small sample size this year. It's only 93 innings against righties, but he's given up 19 home runs.
Yeah, it just comes down to, like, you got to get the right one, though. So it's just like, I don't know. Those are always tough spots for me where, like, yeah, he might give up a solo shot or two, but good luck knowing which of the 6 guys he's going to give it up to. Outside of Trey Turner, we know he's going to get one.
I like Jason Worth. 289 ISO, 1.044 OPS against lefties this season. Worth would be the guy that I would look at. Wilson Ramos, if you can get him cheap, that's kind of where I would go with the Nationals here.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
Jason Worth, first fantasy draft play at 7,800. He's a guy that I'm going to target a lot here today at that price.
Don't mind it. Wouldn't be my favorite play, but certainly not anything I'm going to object to.
Cincinnati at – do you do want any Miami bats? My bad.
No, you were good to continue.
I figured. What about Yelich? 2,900 on FanDuel.
I guess that just depends on what the ownership level is going to be. Like, if he's the guy that everyone's yapping about all day, no. If he's someone else sneaks to the radar, then yeah.
All right, let's move on to Chicago now. Cincinnati visiting Chicago. Jason Hamill, Tim Adelman, your man. Any interest in either one of these pitchers?
So it is Adelman versus
Hamill, Jason Hamill.
Okay, because I have a different matchup, which is weird. Let me just check my Vegas Sports Insider here. Jacine versus Perez. So what do you have? Oh, I have it just Jacine versus Perez.
You're looking at the wrong game.
It's one of those days.
You're looking at Texas. I'm looking at the Cubs.
Yeah, Cubs, Edelman versus Hamill. I don't know why I was just scrolling around.
Don't worry, we're gonna.
I hate when he goes out of order. Like if his order doesn't match my order, forget it. I'm just done. I'm completely worthless here. Yeah. I don't know what's going on here, but the BVP is all wrong too. So I'm gonna have to find new updated BVP. That's the problem. I know, right? But yeah, this is a spot though where you should just love all the Cubs that are in the lineup.
Yeah, especially Chris Bryant. He's good at baseball.
Yes, he's very good, and that's what caught me off guard. I was gonna tout his BVP, and then I realized it was the wrong pitcher, but it's basically the same type of pitcher, so I can't imagine that it's any different. Actually, the Cubs haven't seen Tim Middleman, so that's good. They can start some BVP because this is exactly the type of matchup that I want to play Chris Bryant in.
Jason Hamill pitched really good in August, really good in the end of July, really good in August, and then he's just fallen apart in 4 of his last 5 starts.
Is this a career high in innings for Jason Hamill? I meant to look that up, and I completely forgot before the show because I got caught up in Smid's life.
No, he's at 157, 170 last year, 176 the year before that, 177 in 2010, 176 in 2009.
It's still approaching his cap, so could just be him wearing down here a little bit. The walk rate, I think, has been the alarming thing of late. He's just been walking too many guys. So, I mean, it's the Reds. They're really bad at baseball, but with all the cheap pitchers and the expensive options, I don't see any reason to go with Hamill here.
That's kind of what I was getting at. Like, outside of Votto, I don't think I want any of the Reds bats, but I just don't know if I want Hamill here either.
I want Schebler on sites where he's cheap, but that would be about it.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Another thing, like coming down the stretch, like the Cubs are locked in. I think Joe Maddon's going to be really, really careful with his pitching.
Yeah, you would think so. They got a lot of young arms in that bullpen that are kind of competing for playoff spots. So I definitely could see them kind of just cutting most of these starts short here to get them a better look at the bullpen heading into the playoffs. They've got a 6-game lead for best record, so I think they're pretty safe there as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree. All right, let's head to Texas. I know you really wanted to talk about this game. The Angels and the Rangers, Martin Perez against Chacin. One thing I want to note about this game before we get into everything else, it's supposed to be really hot in Texas today. I think 97 at first pitch, which is by far the hottest game on the slate.
That's good because I was really torn on what to do with this game, and that makes it a whole lot simpler.
I like this game. I like this game as a pivot off of Coors and a pivot off of Boston.
Yeah, I was going to kind of give it the I don't know what to do with it face, and I still kind of feel that way. Kind of 2 underrated pitchers in terms of just like everyone assumes they get blown up every time, and they don't. In Martin Perez and Chacin, both have had decent levels of success against these teams. I mean, nothing great, but nothing terrible. But if it's going to be 97 at first pitch, you've got no choice. You need to stack up your Angels and stack up your Rangers and just kind of hope for the best here.
Yeah. The Rangers that I want are the lefties. Chacin, his numbers suggest that he's getting really unlucky against righties. Really solid numbers as far as strikeouts go, hard contact rates down. And anytime you see an xFIP like a run and a half lower than the ERA, you know he's going to be getting a little unlucky.
Yeah, but 97 degrees in Texas isn't exactly the time he's going to start getting lucky, most likely.
You're right.
I'm going to go ahead and just play everyone.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue. Like, where am I to argue? I was the one that pointed out the weather for a reason. Like, oh, but hey, Mike Trout is 9,300 on Fantasy Draft today.
That's probably worth playing.
Yeah, he's under 10K.
He's under 10K on DraftKings too.
I know. One guy that tournament flyer, tournament play only. If Joey Gallo's in the lineup, this is a good power spot. Yeah, no, that's actually a really good call, and I forgot the September call-ups are here. I mean, I know they're here, but I just haven't seen him in the lineup. But he's still around, so if he cracks that lineup, absolutely. Yeah, but if he goes 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts, don't let it shock you because that's very, very possible with him. What he's saying is you go to hit Twitter and you go at StevieTPFL and you complain about going 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. That's nothing new. Come on. You know how this works. No, it's nothing new at all. All right, let's go to Coors Field, St. Louis at Colorado. I think we're on the same page with the Angels, Texas. Play those guys. Yeah, we are definitely on the same page there. St. Louis at Colorado, Carlos Martinez, Tyler Anderson. This isn't your run-of-the-mill 2 bad pitchers in Coors Field. What are we doing here?
I'm stacking up every Rockies lefty I can find. Carlos
Okay.
Martinez, awful against lefties in Coors Field. Please just play as many lefties as you can, Rockies, and I'll just play every single one of you.
Okay. He doesn't. The one thing that worries me a little bit is he doesn't throw anything that breaks down, right?
But he's still awful against lefties even in St. Louis. He's not going to suddenly improve against lefties in an awful ballpark.
Yeah, and people are going to see the game log too, and they're going to be interested. But if you look at it, Milwaukee twice, Cincinnati once in the last 4 games.
Yeah, we had a couple. We didn't get many questions on Twitter for obvious reasons, but one of the questions was, "What was your thought on Carlos Martinez and Coors?" For me, it's absolutely just stacking the Rockies lefties. No interest in Carlos Martinez whatsoever.
Any interest? I know it's Coors Field, but any interest in Tyler Anderson here?
Yes. I also need to have like an intervention on Tyler Anderson. I pretty much roster him every time out at this point. I just believe in him. He's really good. And he's been pitched well. He's pitched well in Coors this year too. He's got a 3.04 ERA in Coors. He's actually pitched better in Coors than he has on the road this year. He's actually 0-4 on the road, and he's 5-1 at home with a ERA 2 runs lower in Coors. So we talk about how the Cardinals were due for some regression against left-handed pitching. No Matt Holliday the rest of the year. I'll probably have some Tyler Anderson exposure in tournaments.
Yeah, outside of Piscotty, Gruchek has a 222 ISO, but outside of those two guys, nobody with an ISO, I guess FAM, but it's really small sample size. Nobody with an ISO over 200 against lefties.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're playing the Cardinals, don't forget about Yadier Molina. He can actually hit home runs out of this park.
Yeah, I was looking at pricing, and what's your thoughts on the Silent H here? He's 6,600 on draft, 3,300 on DraftKings.
That's a little too cheap for the Silent H.
Like, I know he hasn't been good against lefties this season, but that seems really cheap, right?
Honestly, all the Cardinals and Coors are cheap, industry-wide. Like, that's definitely going to be your chalk stack of the day. So Tyler Anderson leverage play is absolutely something I'm going to probably even have more ownership now that I see these Cardinals prices industry-wide. I mean, Jed Jerko is 3,600 on DraftKings.
No, why is Matt Carpenter so cheap? Like, if there's anybody that shouldn't be cheap, it should be Piscotty and Carpenter's a little too cheap.
Yeah, I mean, they're priced up a little bit on FanDuel, but not really. They're not like the full Coors Field pricing. So, I mean, yeah, it all comes down to me, just how many can you fit in if you want to play the Cardinals. But for me, I'm going to roll out Anderson, I think.
So my Oakland hot takes, and they didn't seem like hot takes, but now that Oakland's scoring all these runs, like Houston at Oakland, Brad Peacock against Cotton, like I wouldn't start Brad Peacock against anybody. So like this is terrible. I wanted any other pitcher on this slate to pitch against Oakland so I could say play him.
Yeah, boy.
Can't do Peacock.
We can't. Are you sure?
Like.
I mean, here's the thing. Like he was a talented prospect, right? Like
I told you the first ever RotoGrinders article that I did, I touted Peacock and he had his best game of his career.
How long ago was that?
That
was a while ago. Yeah,
a long time ago. I've been writing for RotoGrinders way too long though.
I mean, I didn't realize he was this old. God, I didn't realize how long he's been hanging around the minors for. God, it felt like yesterday he was just like that top prospect, but it was like 3 years ago.
He pitched well against Texas in his last outing. 6 innings, only 1 earned run, only gave up 3 hits, but only 5 strikeouts.
The thing is, I'm never going to roster Peacock because I can just roster Chris Davis under-owned on the other side like I do every single day. So that's realistically where I'm going to end up. I have some interesting Cotton, though. It's underpriced. Houston strikes out a ton. Not necessarily calling it like one of my favorite plays on the board, but if he can get to like 4 or 5 strikeouts, he could be in a really good spot.
It all depends on lineup for me. It's small sample sizes, but 0 strikeout rate against right-handed bats.
Yeah, I mean that's a little bit of a small sample size, so I'm not going to worry about it yet. I just think the matchup, it's a tournament flyer, and that's not really anything you're going to do stat based. To be honest, it's kind of you're playing pitcher, anonymous pitcher against Houston, knowing that they can strike out batters. That's all you're really looking for here.
Yeah, and if you look at Cotton's stats in the minors over the last 2 years with the Dodgers and the Athletics, like he does have a nice strikeout rate. Like I'm just saying, like worries me a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a little bit of a concern. But if it's I'm not like counting on him to be like a core player or anything like that. It's kind of just maybe I'm trying to fit an extra expensive bat in here and kind of get a little contrarian. Maybe I even need a late swap on DraftKings. Maybe my early pitcher got rocked. We provide all sorts of data here for our awesome listeners.
Yeah, even one-word data. That's what we got called on Friday. All right, so let's talk bats here. You mentioned Davis. What is your thoughts here on Healy? Like, this guy is hot.
Yeah, he's super. I mean,
hits in 9 straight with, like, I think 7 of those are multi-hit games.
Yeah, I mean, he's a fine option for sure. I just don't like this is the type of spot I don't want to hop on the day late. So I'm probably just going to stay away. But if you certainly have been riding him, I certainly wouldn't stop now.
Yeah, if he was cheaper too, like there's people in that price range that I like a little bit more.
Yeah. Chris Davis, 8,100 though. You guys know what to do with that.
You do know what to do. Man, I'm having a tough time looking over Springer here at 7,500.
Yeah. I think I would not be surprised if he suddenly got a couple days off. I think he's kind of gassed. Hasn't had a multi-hit game in a while.
Right. Let's talk about Toronto at Seattle. Walker, Estrada. Any interest in either one of these pitchers?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't want to, but I have no choice. We just saw what Walker can do against right-handed heavy teams. He just threw a complete game shutout against the Angels. Obviously not expecting that again, but that's his upside against any right-handed heavy team. And then we got Marco Estrada, a.k.a. the fraud. This is also a good spot for him. Big ballpark. He's a fly ball guy. So this is kind of a decent spot for him as well. He's been kind of getting roughed up lately, but if there was ever a get-right spot, this would be it.
Yeah, and his numbers against lefties are pretty solid too. So, like, if they roll out their normal left-handed heavy lineup, the guy gets a lot of soft contact. The one-off that I really like for Seattle is Nelson Cruz. Estrada gives up a 37% of our contact rate to righties.
I actually had a different one. Mike Zunino, if you're looking for a catcher contrarian option, all the same reasons you just mentioned for Cruz.
No, I like that. I think that you could play a one-off here with the right-handed power.
Yeah, I think that's definitely how I would approach attacking Estrada. I certainly wouldn't attack it with a stack with all those lefties, that's for sure.
Oh, Walker. Are we picking on Walker here? Like, if you roll him out in some tournament lineups, are you going to have a hedge stack here with Toronto?
Yeah, it's a stack. It's either a stack, a play, or a fade. I'm not going to just start playing one-offs from Toronto. Like, when Walker gets blown up, he's kind of like Colin McHugh. When he gets blown up, he gets blown up. And when he's on, he's on. He's like the greatest DFS pitcher ever. You play him on some teams, you build a couple of contrarian stacks against them, and you just watch one of those go do really well.
Yeah, looking at his game logs over the last month and a half, like 1 earned run, 0 earned runs, or 3 or plus. So that's what you're doing with Walker. If you're going to play him, you better make a hedge stack.
Yeah, it's like 0, 3, 5, 4, 3, 6, 5, 1, 0.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
it's never like 2, which is the disaster zone.
So, all right, let's move on. Arizona at San Diego, Shipley and Paul Clemens. We're not playing these pitchers, right?
Oh, you got me so scared in your opening when you're like Shipley against the Padres. I was like, oh no, am I gonna have to talk Stevie off Shipley? No.
Oh. You know where I'm going here. Come on,
Ryan Schimpf.
Yeah, you come on. We all know where I'm going here.
Your opening was a tad deceptive. It really was. You actually got me. You had me worried there for a solid 20 minutes.
Oh man, no way! Like
I was really concerned for your well-being. I got to be honest. I was like, how much Sunday fun day did you have?
0. I worked and got home at 10 o'clock, as you know, because we were texting about doing the pod.
Yeah, no, it's a fair point. No, and on a little more somber note, condolences to Yanguera Solarte and his family. That's pretty tragic to lose someone with cancer like that. So he won't be. I assume he's probably done for the season at this point. So it's pretty much just Schimpf on that from this Padres team for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Losing your wife to something like that is definitely something that's really tough. So He has 3 kids. They're nowhere near the playoff race, so you have to think that, right now he just needs to be home with his kids.
As he should be as well. I don't mind Alex Dickerson either, but that's basically it. He's a little underpriced on fantasy draft at 7,200.
Dude, no. You have to like Will Myers here. Like, this is a Will Myers spot. Shipley gives up a ton of hard contact to righties.
That's a fair point. I mean, I'm going to have a Padre stack. Anytime I can make an excuse to have a Padre stack, I'm going to have a Padre stack.
We're going to have a Padre stack.
Oh, absolutely.
I might even have a game stack.
Against Paul Clemens. Has Paul Clemens been as bad as we think he is? I actually haven't, stacked against him in a while.
0-5-1-4-3-3.
That's perfectly mediocre.
But the thing that I like about here with the Diamondbacks is Clemens is not a strikeout guy, and you get a bunch of these power guys in this big old ballpark, and could see a lot of extra base hits here.
Yeah, no, it's totally viable. It really just comes down to what the Arizona lineup looks like, because they have a lot of versions, and some are really, really bad.
Yes, some of them are really, really bad. Yeah, because Pollock's banged up again. We probably won't see him again this year, right?
Can't imagine.
But the one guy that I like, and I'm going to go out on a limb here, but second fantasy draft play, and I know you're not going to like this one, but I like Yamani Tomas a lot in this game.
It's your podcast. You can make whatever picks you like.
That's right. I knew you weren't going to like that one. I was waiting for the rebuttal. I like the route that you took of just shaking your head, and people can't see that.
Absolutely. No, it's Stevie's pod. He can do whatever he likes. I think he's kicking my ass in home run picks too. So I got no leg to stand on.
Oh man, our home run picks on Friday. Of course, all of them hit home runs on Saturday.
I know. I was thinking that on Saturday. I was like, man, I should have just game stacked our home run picks. We would have golden.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about this game. San Francisco, Los Angeles. Kershaw, Bumgarner. 0 bats in this game, right? Outside of Kiki Hernandez.
Of course, the BVP special.
You have to have him on one tournament team if you're playing multiple teams.
I would think so. Watch Dave Roberts not put him in the lineup or something, some nonsense.
He's 11 for 19 with 3 home runs off Kershaw. He's batting .579 off of him.
7 extra base hits in 19 at bats. I'm just saying, it's Dave Roberts. I assume the worst when it comes to his lineups.
So Dodgers have been really bad against lefties this season. If you had to pick one, and it's really tough to say, because we don't know what type of pitch count we're going to see for Kershaw. If you had to pick one, who are you going with here?
I think I'm playing Kershaw. The line of -170 and the total is 6 makes me think he's going to have a 90 pitch count, and they're not too concerned about it. So I'm just going to go ahead and roster him, I think. There's too much upside here in this big ballpark against this team that struggles against left-handed bats. I mean, I understand if you want to fade him. It's definitely super risky, but I think that second start was kind of just a second rain delay. They didn't want to throw him back out there. I think he was going to go 75, 80. So I think he'll be ready to go in this start here for a full 90.
Yeah. He put up 20 points with 64 pitches against the Yankees. He looked really good in that game.
Yeah, and then they even let him come back out after the first rain delay, which I thought was surprising. So I think they're going to be a little more aggressive than we might think than they should be with Kershaw. So I have no problems rolling him out there.
And, you read things about, they traded away his catcher. A.J. Ellis is gone. But, Kershaw's pitched really well with Grandal catching this year. So, don't believe in any of this stuff you're going to hear today. Kershaw is Kershaw.
That's an excellent analysis, Stevie. Kershaw is, in fact, Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah. He's the best pitcher in baseball for a reason. Better?
And he's not priced as number 1 pitcher on the slate. Always
not.
There.
He's not. The only reason that you move off of Kershaw today, if something comes out where you see 80 pitch counts or something like that.
I got to be honest, I still probably am rolling. If I'm not stacking cores, I'm probably rolling out Kershaw. I think people are just going to be scared off, and the matchup is just too good.
Yeah, outside of Posey, Pence, yeah.
And we're getting a 10% discount on the guy. He would be $14K in this spot if we knew what was going on.
He would be.
So we're kind of getting a 10 to 12% discount. So we're kind of getting the pitch discount anyways. factored into the price.
Yes. Yes. I can't disagree. Like, I love Kershaw on the spot.
And the mid-tier, too, is just honestly really weak. It's like Porcello, Martinez, Walker, Hamill, Estrada. Like, good luck. You know, we made some positives and some negative points for all of them, but if you know which one of those is going to pitch a good game, then can I get some of your magic 8-ball, please?
So, like, a strategy that I might, like, roll out on this slate is I might play Kershaw and Syndergaard and just punt shortstop with a min salary guy.
Yeah.
It's like we were talking about the slate and not, like, one shortstop really, like, stood out to me.
I'm just hoping that one of the cheap guys from Colorado opens up some value. It's kind of my plan, and if that doesn't work, I'm gonna be in trouble.
Yeah, we'll have to kind of see how lineups play out, but that's going to wrap it up for the breakdown, the game by game. There's a Coors Field slate, so no Coors Field for Home Run Derby today. What do you got?
Where are we at in home run? We need to do like a tally at some point too. We're heading down the stretch.
I have like 6 pages of written down like who we take.
All right, next year I should just take over this and not let you do this. You're like the worst home run tracker ever. Ever.
I can't lose if I don't keep track of it. Best host ever.
So lame.
That's what like 95% of the people in the industry would say.
I mean, do I take the BVP play or do I take the hottest hitter in baseball right now? Give me Hanley.
Nice. I like it. And because you took Hanley, I'm going to tilt you on purpose and take Chris Davis with a K.
Oh, you're going to leave me. Oh. Well, I'm going to take his buddy just in case I get the wrong one. I'm going to lock up Red Sox first baseman and take Ortiz.
All right. I like it. I'm going to go with the best hitter in baseball, Mike Trout.
Man, I'm going to stare at Trey Turner. He's just staring at me. He's like, you better do it. You better do it. But I don't know. I can't believe he's actually going to hit another home run. Oh, yeah. I can't believe this guy lasted this long. Give me Chris Bryant.
Man, you didn't go chalky today at all.
Hanley's not chalk. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I guess Hanley isn't chalk. Congrats.
I mean, he should be chalk, but he won't. Like Hanley and Ortiz, they split the ownership from each other, so neither one's chalk.
All right, I'm going Schimpf with my last pick.
You took Chris Davis with a K. You forced me onto the chalk. I don't know what you want. I don't know what you want from me.
All right. At the end of the day, if you had to pick one pitcher not named Syndergaard, Kershaw, Bumgarner to pick up a win, who do you got to win tonight?
Tyler Anderson.
Whoa, a Coors Field pitcher.
He just has to win the game. You play to win the game.
I'm gonna take the $400 discount and go AJ Cole.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Yeah, I don't either. That's why I said it.
I see a world in which Chen pitches well. I not saying playing him. I'm not saying that. I just see a world in which that game is like 2-0 in the 7th, and there's a lot of DFS tilting going on.
Like, I can't remember the last time a guy came off the DL and pitched well.
I mean, that's the thing too. Stacking against guys off the DL is like my thing. I do it all the time. I just have a really bad feeling about it here.
Ballpark definitely helps him. It depends what the Washington lineup looks like, but I'm definitely going to have a national stack here. And
I think I would rather play the Mets stack against Aaron Blair coming off the DL.
We get 2 DL pitchers. You could do a game stack with DL pitchers.
Yeah,
that's like right
as much as I poo the Mets stack, like the stack against Aaron Blair is just so tempting because they'll be so low owned and because those names are just going to be so ugly in that Mets lineup.
I thought Aaron Blair got scratched because he wasn't up towards the top on the pitchers list, but he's actually priced down with hitters, so I was confused.
Understandable.
So that actually really just happened. That's going to do it here for the Monday edition of the Morning Grind podcast. Did we get any questions on Twitter?
We answered them. I incorporated them into the show.
Well, yeah, there was only one question, so you guys missed out. Like we'll probably do that again with NFL this week. That was fun, getting some questions in at the end of the pod.
We should do that. We're doing that again on Wednesday.
Yes, we are. So,
all right,
you guys, you'll check out CH back on Wednesday and or Thursday. And good luck in your contest tonight, and we'll see you again tomorrow.